Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Joffy Noodle Eggs with another Noodle film review. Today we're looking at a Shudder exclusive film called The Dark and the Wicked. Now I believe this is exclusive to Shudder. They are a sort of horror film streaming service, and they make their own sort of movies. Was really looking forward to this film because it's from the same sort of writer and director of The Strangers, which I love. Really cool film. This one is it's a completely, I say it's different, completely different sort of story, but it's all still again sort of based around one sort of area. This sort of like farm area where there's this old woman living with her a supposedly ill husband. And I think the husband's taken a really turn for the worse, and the kids come home. The daughter and their son come home to see what they can do to help. And the mother seems quite resentful towards them on their arrival, probably because they've left the farm and left her to it, sort of thing. The farm they live on, it's not really a massive farm. It's more like sort of like a goat farm, because there's loads of goats there. And the mother's been experiencing some sort of like major, almost like haunting kind of episodes, where she sort of like feels that there's some sort of creature or beast around the farm that's tormenting her and her livestock and her husband. So anyway, the daughter and the daughter, who spends pretty much most of the film smoking, and her son sort of turned up, and they're there sort of like to try and see if they can do anything. And she's quite resentful to them, and doesn't really seem to get on with either of them. Anyway, sort of all these sort of strange happenings kind of happen around the farm, and then one evening the son and the daughter out looking for the mother, and they found that she's hung herself in the barn and killed herself and cut off her own fingers and all this sort of thing. Because whatever's possessing this farm is almost like a self-infliction kind of demon. It makes you sort of like inflict sort of like pains to yourself, and it kind of sort of resembles around to being the father, the one that's sort of like in this sort of coma state, and it's almost sort of tries to make you believe it's sort of like him. Anyway, so the mother's killed herself, and then the daughter and the brother start experiencing these strange things happening, and the brother keeps seeing ghosts or whatever, his mother. The daughter keeps seeing the father appearing alive with white eyes and all this sort of thing. All this kind of strange behaviours going on. Very, very predictable. And other sort of people that have been friends to the family are experiencing bad things, and another guy kills himself. The brother can't take it anymore. He goes home. He goes back to his house and thinks that his daughter and his wife have killed themselves, so he kills himself. But again, it's just a mirage. But he's killed himself now. It's all sort of really cliche sort of film, and the daughter's left at the house trying to still cope with the father. They tried putting him into care, but the hospitals won't take him. They said he's too far gone. But all these sort of build up to sort of like the climax of the film, which I won't tell you because I don't want to spoil it for you. What do I think of The Dark and Wicked? It's a very cliche sort of film. It just sort of ticks the boxes. Jump scare tick. Whispering in the ears tick. All this kind of thing. It's just a tick box of. He's got like the director of this film, who's done a great job with The Strangers, has got like a list of things he wants in his film, and he's ticked them off, you know, and that's what it sort of feels like on the film. So what do I think? Yeah, like I said, I found the cliche. The positives of the film: it looks really nice, it's shot really well, and some of the sort of like environment shots are really, really cool. There's a couple of really good sort of photography shots with like a door opening slowly and all this kind of thing. And the sorts of good shots around with the goats, and it's shot beautifully. Negatives, the female actress is terrible, the one in the lead. She overacts the whole film. If she's not overacting it, she's smoking, which is, it's just, I think I counted her about 14 times smoking in the film. So she's just, that's all she seems to do, and walk around with her mouth wide open, like scared all the time. It's like this sort of thing, and she overacts it, which is terrible. Um, the story is very, very cliche. There's nothing new brought to the story, which is a real, real shame, because I was really looking forward to it. Because when you read all the reviews of it, they give reviews of it that it's a masterpiece. It's absolutely fantastic, and all this. So I went in with great expectations and came out with very poor expectations. This is the danger of going into horror films with expectations. See, because I listened to the reviews of this, even says on the box, haunting masterpiece. I went into, and I don't know why it's an 18, to me it's more of a 12 to 15. I went in with great expectations, really, which is my fault, my mistake. Because when you do that, you always come out on thinking, yeah, that's not what you sold me. So that's what I've sort of got out of this film. So I've learned from it. So the positive from the whole films that I've learned, again, not to go into horror films with any expectations. If I had none, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But with that, I'm going to score this film a poor watch and give it a 4 out of 10, which is probably the lowest score I think I've given a film on my channel. Not because it's, it's really well filmed. It's a well-made film, It's from the director and writer of The Strangers, which is an amazing film. But this is very weak. Like I said, I found it very cliched and a very sort of like, yeah, okay, we've done jump scare, okay, we've done the little bit of gory bit, we've done the disturbing bit, it's just like that. It's like it's ticked every box, and it hasn't really got, that film doesn't go anywhere, just doesn't go anywhere. And it's just sort of like, okay, saw it all coming, but there we go. And I can't say, yeah, I enjoyed watching it, because I didn't really. I was kind of, it's one of the very first horror films I've sat down and thought, come on, is it going to end in a minute, or can I make this through to the end? I did, and I knew what was going to happen. So it was no sort of like great time given. So anyway, the Dark End of Wicked, 4 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you thought of it. I was very disappointed with it, to be honest, just because it's all been sort of headed up as this like a really cool horror film and a masterpiece. I don't think it's that. I think it's been shot really well by a good director who has cliched it by using all the horror cliches in there with an over-the-top acting cast. And that to me doesn't make a great horror film. I'd much rather watch a bad acting cast in something like Sleepaway Camp than I would then like this sort of thing. But there we go. I'm glad that I've seen it in a way, because I've got my own opinion of it. Would I rewatch it? Don't know. It's something that I would probably put away for a year and forget about, and then go back and revisit it and see if I like it. Maybe I was in the wrong frame of mind. I don't know, but I just didn't really connect with the film. And you can't connect with every film. There's lots of films that I love that a lot of people don't connect with, and there's a lot of films that they love, like The Lost Boys. Lots of people love that. I can't connect with it. Just don't get it, But there we are, and that's what makes the horror genre fantastic. So there we go. That's the lowest scoring horror movie on my channel. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the worst film. Some of you probably love it. You know, my son might quite like that, but it wasn't for me. But there we go. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me for this little review. I'm sorry it's not been the most positive one, but I'm still going to put it up there because you need to know my views are on bad films as well as good films. Because you must think, oh, he loves every film going. I don't. But, you know, quite a few films that I watch, um, and I just don't put the review up because I don't like it. But this one I thought I'd put up because I've not reviewed a Shudder film before, and it's got some raving reviews, and I just didn't see why. But there we go. Check out some horror channels for me, guys, please. Check out Horror Hands, The Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Designs, Pizzawell, I Am the Ice Lord, Sarah of Horror, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, and a massive shout out to the lad Lemon Lord. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.